I'm sure this feels like I'm overstepping, but I know your father. And I honestly believe that you're the only one that can help him. He really needs you.
Everybody needs me right now. Elizabeth needs me. My dad needs me. I'm just trying to get through the day. You know? Don't you get it? My dad doesn't want to be helped. There's nothing I can do if he's determined to self-destruct.
You and your dad are a lot more alike than you think. You're both using denial as a coping mechanism.
What are you talking about? I'm not denying anything. Dad is. He's the one who can't admit he's an alcoholic.
And whether you like it or not, you and your father are in this together. And if you don't face up to that fact, there are going to be serious repercussions for all of us.
Tracy, I appreciate who you are to my dad. You know, you've given him chance after chance when most women would have kicked him to the curb a long time ago.
Is that a polite way of saying I've been enabling him?
My dad was a drunk for years before he got involved with you. And if you have been enabling him, it's just because you saw the rest of us doing it. I mean, I'm the worst offender. I was going through the 12 steps myself, and I never said a word to him. And now my son's dead.
Okay. So if there was ever a time for you to reach out for him, it's now. Ethan has tried, Lulu has tried, I have tried, and none of it has made an ounce of difference. You are the only one that can get through to him, and the worst part of it is, you know it.
Lucky has every right to be angry as hell with me or to have any other feelings that he chooses. And you too. I mean, I killed his son, your nephew. You want to get a few shots in while you're here?
I'm not as concerned about punishing you as I am with helping my sister get through her grief.
Do you know that she came here to see me and actually apologize for not watching Jake better that night? She told me she was sorry for having burdened me with having run him down. Unbelievable.
There's nothing more important to my sister than her kids. And how ever misguided the thought of failing one of them is going to haunt her for the rest of her life.
You need to get Lucky and Elizabeth in the same room and let him convince her to blame me, because I am the one to blame.
Lucky has barely seen my sister since the night of the accident. He's not the only one who lost a child. My sister is doing everything in her power to hold it together for Cam and Aiden, but underneath, the grief and guilt run deep. She needs to hear Lucky tell her that he doesn't blame her. But evidently, that can't happen as long as he has to sit here and watch you spiral out. So what I need from you, whether you feel like it or not, is to pull yourself together and put someone else ahead of your pain.
Do you have any idea how I do that, Doctor? Because I'm fresh out of ideas.
Look, I know I should be trying to get my dad into treatment, work the steps with him, but there's nothing I can do if he won't admit he has a problem. I can't drag him in there kicking and screaming. It doesn't work like that.
Lucky, your father doesn't think he deserves your love. If you turn your back on him, you play right into that. Is that what you want?
It's not that I don't love him, okay? I can't look at him anymore without seeing that night flash through my mind.
Your father almost burned down the haunted star with himself in it. He needs help.
I'm sorry, Tracy. I really am, but there's nothing I can do. There's nothing anyone can do. It's up to him.
Telling the truth about Aiden isn't...
What's that about? That's the second time I ran her off today. It's not you, Max. He was just trying to be a friend. trying to help me find a way out of the grief. I'm not seeing it yet.
Like you saw.
There's no timetable for grief. You're allowed to be as angry and as sad as you want to be for as long as you want to be.
That's the thing, man. I don't want to be angry with my dad. But I am. I mean, he still refuses to acknowledge that his drinking may have been the reason that he didn't notice Jake in the road.
Well, Luke's never been one to admit that he needs help.
It's because up until now, he's always found a way to land on his feet, talk his way out of every corner he backed himself into. You know, the funny thing is, it's like there's a part of me that's still waiting for him to come through. You know, prove that he wasn't the driver. Be the hero that I grew up believing he was. And even though that image of him was destroyed a long time ago, I still can't bring myself to hate him.
Wife, you will be happy to know that my eye-hand coordination has markedly improved since I opened a second bottle. Care to test me?
No.
The sour look on my Spanky's face can only mean one thing. You spend all afternoon canvassing the family trying to find suggestions on what to do about poor old Luke. Well, you came up with nothing. So let me guess how it went. Dodge said there's nothing wrong with the old man, apart from having been involved in a terrible accident and that everybody is overreacting. Lulu, ever daddy's girl, jumped to my defense and said over and over to anybody that will listen, he is not an alcoholic, which only means that she's terrified I am. And Lucky? Lucky feels that I should have already done several stints in rehab already, but he won't push for treatment because he believes I'm a hopeless lush. How am I doing?
Good.
You should ask me. I would have told you there'd be no consensus.
Almost. They did agree on one thing. If you keep going the way you're going, we're going to end up burying you too.
Did you get a chance to see Elizabeth?
No. Steve stopped by and he said that Elizabeth thinks I blame her for what happened to Jake.
But you don't.
No, of course not. I mean, it was my fault for not confronting my father's addiction.
Lucky, had you confronted him, do you honestly think it would have made any difference at all?
Yeah, I do, actually. I mean, at the least, maybe he would have thought twice about getting behind the wheel after downing who knows how many drinks.
Well, you can still get him the help he needs.
It's not going to bring my son back. Man, how am I supposed to help my dad when it takes everything in me right now to keep from falling apart?
You're stronger than you realize.
You know, thanks for believing in me, even when I can't believe in myself.